Hey, welcome back to the channel, everyone. John here from Wild Boar Cycling. And we have something a bit different for you today. You may recall that Brian and I are preparing for a gravel bike race in August, but I've needed to adjust my training schedule due to unexpected surgeries. Well, the Directeur Sportif and I have just spent the last month traveling in our outdoors RV travel trailer. And as you might notice from my tan, I had many opportunities to get my training back on track. I'm going to highlight a few of the places that we traveled to in Northern California and Oregon, but more importantly, some excellent places that you may want to visit to cycle or experience the diverse landscape. We'll start in McArthur, California, then John Day, Oregon, Joseph, Oregon, Sisters, Oregon, Medford, Oregon, and finally Mount Shasta, California. Well, I hope you enjoy this presentation today, and if you do, make sure you do all that standard YouTube stuff like, subscribe, and notify so we can let you know when our next production is available. In the meantime, sit back and enjoy, and of course, keep the rubber side down. We love camping at Lassen RV Resort near McArthur, California, with their large campsites and views of the western sides of Mount Shasta and Mount Lassen. A must-do ride to the unincorporated community of Day, California is located about 10 miles northeast from McArthur and features an amazing rolling out and back route with views of Mount Shasta along the way. If you go past Day, you'll find terrific gravel bike routes through pasture land and in the shadow of Mount Shasta. An interesting fact about Day is that a lightning-sparked fire in 2014 started just north of the community and ultimately destroyed 6 structures and injured 7 people. With such a small population, this tragedy had an unfortunate impact on this community. Just southeast of McArthur is the small town of Pittville. Before the arrival of Anglo-European explorers, this area was home of different indigenous tribes. In Shasta County, there were 5 tribes: Pitt River, Hat Creek, Okawanchu, Wintu, and Yana. Large tribal communities prospered in the proximity to the Sacramento River, the fertile soil, and a robust trading system. By 1880, many settlements had sprung up in the area, and the railroad industry had begun to develop interest here. The Nevada, California, Oregon Railroad, which operated from 1880 to 1927, was the longest narrow gauge line in the nation in this century, traversing the eastern side of the county and also assisted in the development of the high desert region of eastern Lassen. The Fernley and Lassen Railroad, built in 1913, tapped into western Lassen's timber resources. Today, Pittville is a picturesque community that abuts large ranches with views of both Mount Shasta and Lassen. The bike rides in and around this area, you'll want to make sure you ride the out and back route to Little Valley. The city of John Day, Oregon is named after an early explorer, and some might say an early entrepreneur from Virginia, John Day. He might be best known for being robbed and stripped naked by Native Americans on the Columbia River near the mouth of the John Day River. His name is well remembered and being attached to the John Day River and its 4 branches in eastern Oregon, as well as the cities of John Day, Dayville in Grant County, and a smaller John Day River and unincorporated community Clatsop County, Oregon, the John Day Dam on the Columbia River, and the John Day Fossil Beds National Monument. The bike rides here follow the Oregon Scenic Bikeways and go through the nearby cities of John Day, Canyon City, Mount Vernon, and Prairie City. While you are in the area, you won't want to miss the Kam Wah Chung Heritage Site, a Chinese medical clinic, general store, community center, and residence. Kam Wah Chung gives you an incomparable glimpse into the past. This remarkable site, a National Historic Landmark, is located in the town of John Day and includes a museum and a separate interpretive center. Perhaps one of my favorite cycling locations here in the Pacific Northwest is near the town of Joseph. The town of Joseph is situated at the base of the Wallowa Mountains at the southern edge of three valleys of the Wallowa River. It is the cultural and tourism center of northeastern Oregon. The striking beauty of the town's natural surroundings lend it the nickname Little Switzerland of America. Before white resettlers arrived in the region, the place that is now Joseph was at the heart of the ancestral homeland of the Nez Perce. Many members of the Wallowa band of the Nez Perce lived along the shores of Lake Wallowa, a mile south of the present-day Joseph. The lake and surrounding regions were deeded to the Nez Perce as a reservation in 1855, but the discovery of gold in 1863 led the United States government to attempt to renegotiate. The Wallowa band of the Nez Perce refused to sign the new treaty, which would have excluded them from their ancestral homeland. Mounting pressures from resettlers and the United States government eventually boiled over into the Nez Perce War, which concluded with the younger Chief Joseph being captured as he attempted to seek asylum in Canada in 1877. After Joseph's surrender, the region around Wallowa Lake was officially open to resettlement. There are numerous road, gravel, and mountain bike routes in the area. Some must-do routes include the gravel ride from the Ferguson Ridge ski area to Salt Creek Summit. My first attempt at this route resulted in a major turnaround, as a late-season snowstorm made for challenging conditions. Other personal favorite routes include Hurricane Creek, Tenderfoot Road, and of course the OK Gulch. I think what impresses me the most about the area is how courteous the drivers and farmers are to cyclists. They give you ample space on the farm roads and are quick to wave or give you a thumbs up. Long before the Sisters country was settled, Native Americans trekked through the region. Old survey maps showed trails, some leading towards Warm Springs, some crossing the Cascade Passes of Mackenzie and Santiam. In time, some of these trails became the routes of wagon roads. 19th century fur trappers and explorers also traveled through the Sisters country. The forerunner of Sisters was Camp Polk, a short-lived military camp that had been established along the Waichus River about 3 miles northeast of Sisters. Following the abandonment of the camp, the site was homesteaded in 1870 by Samuel Hindman, who subsequently operated a store and post office. Camp Polk was located adjacent to a wagon road that linked the Willamette Valley and Prineville. There are numerous road, mountain, and gravel bike routes in this area. You'll want to be sure to ride to the top of Mackenzie Pass or take the road route from Sisters to Smith Rock for some beautiful vistas of the Sisters, Broken Top, and Three Finger Jack. Medford is the county seat of Jackson County, Oregon. Was plotted in 1883 in the center of the Rogue Valley on Bear Creek. Medford is the 8th largest city in Oregon and serves as a metropolitan area of more than 200,000 people. The city is a primary retail, health, government, and service center for the Rogue Valley and some portions of Northern California, and is home to several prominent national businesses including Harry & David, Lithium Motors, Trucker Snowcat, And since the 1990s, the city's slogan has been Medford, the center of it all. Originally the home of Shasta and Tacoma people, the broad plain in the center of the Rogue Valley was a travel route between the richer upland areas that surrounded it. With Euro-American resettlement in the 19th century, following the discovery of gold in the area, the Central Valley was transformed into large wheat fields and agricultural lands. Noteworthy is Medford's proximity to Ashland, Oregon, and Ashland is located just south of Medford along Bear Creek. There is a 28-mile, yes, 28-mile paved bike path, Bear Creek Greenway, that will take you from north of Medford to Ashland. Once in Ashland, you can access numerous mountain and gravel rides through the watershed. Unfortunately, a fire went through the Bear Creek area in 2020, but restoration efforts are having a positive effect on the heavily used bikeway. Mount Shasta is a potentially active volcano at the southern end of the Cascade Range in Siskiyou County, California. At an elevation of 14,179 feet, it is the second highest peak in the Cascades and the fifth highest in the state. The mountains and surrounding area are part of the Shasta Trinity National Forest. The city of Mount Shasta is located in the Shasta Cascade area in Northern California. Visitors use the city as a base for trout fishing in the nearby Sacramento, McCloud, and Klamath rivers, for climbing at Mount Shasta, Castle Crags, or the Trinity Alps, or to view the scenery. Both alpine and cross-country skiing runs are available nearby, as well as biking or hiking the waterfalls, streams, and lakes in the area, including nearby Musbury Falls, Lake Siskiyou, Castle Lake, and Shasta Lake. Again, there are numerous road, mountain, and gravel bike routes in the area. You will want to test your climbing legs west of Lake Siskiyou or on one of the dirt routes located near the start of the Gateway Trailhead.
Hey folks, thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video, and I hope you enjoyed seeing some of the routes that I've ridden over the last month. Well, now it's time for me, at least, to get outside and go and finish my preparation. I've got a major event coming up next weekend, and it's going to be 200 kilometers of riding in some serious heat. So we're going to have to see how well I've recovered from my, recent surgeries and medical setbacks. Well, once again, make sure you do the standard YouTube things of like, subscribe, and notify. And in the meantime, go out and ride, have fun, and of course, keep the rubber side down. Bye all.